The headlines. DSS arrest detains NLC President Joe Ajaero as NLC demands immediate release, puts affiliates on alert. 4 Fed killed, several kidnapped in Kaduna. Kano and Edo postpones school resumption indefinitely over fuel hike. And on the foreign scene, several passengers injured as plane skids off Indonesian runway. Hello and welcome to News Update on Trust Television. My name is Lilian Ogazi. And now to the news. The Department of State for Security has arrested the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, Joe Ajaero. NLC said Ajaero was arrested at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, on Monday on his way to the United Kingdom for an official assignment. Head of Information of the NLC, Benson Upa, confirmed the arrest. The NLC president was billed to attend the Trade Union Congress conference in London, which begins today. Upa said the union does not know where Ajaero had been taken, but he had sent a message saying it was the DSS that arrested him. A statement by the union later said the NLC president had been detained. His arrest and detention came about a week after he honored an invitation by the police on August 28. He was released the following day after honoring the invitation. Meanwhile, operatives of the Department of State Services, DSS, have stormed the Office of the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, in Abuja. This was disclosed in a post via SERAP's official handle on Monday. According to reports, the officers were demanding to see the rights group's director. The group asked the President Tinubu to immediately direct the SSS to end the harassment, intimidation and attack on the rights of Nigerians. This is coming after the rights group had urged President Tinubu to direct the National Petroleum Company Limited to quickly reverse the outrageous pump price of premium motor spirit. And now to insecurity. 4 persons have been reportedly killed and several others kidnapped when bandits launched an unprovocative attack on Kala political ward of Kajuru local government area of Kaduna State. The Kaduna State Police Command and the State Ministry for Internal Security and Home Affairs are yet to make any official statement of the developments. But a credible source within the area who spoke in confidence hinted that the armed kidnappers stormed the village around 2 a.m. on Monday, breaking into houses at jet speed. Now joining us at this time from Kaduna is our colleague Bello Musa to give us more details on the issue that happened in Kaduna. Thank you, Bello, for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, can you tell us more about this, the case of kidnapping at Kajuru local government area of Kaduna State? What exactly is happening at the moment? Give us an update.
Well, it's the incident, as you all are aware, the incident happened on Sunday around 2 a.m. and where the bandits stormed the rural community. Kala is a community close to Kasuwa Magani in Kajuru local government area in Kaduna State, and these are the areas that there are a lot of have been experiencing banditry or bandit activities rather in those communities. So the bandits stormed the area around 2 a.m. on Sunday, killed 4 people and also a number abducted numbers of people that are not are yet to be ascertained. One of the members of the community, he told me via phone that 2 people that were killed came to his shop yesterday in the evening. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Came to his shop yesterday in the evening before the incident happened. So the incident happened in Kala, which is a very rural community in Kajuru local government area in the central part of Kaduna State.
All right. So has any arrest been made or any contact with those that have been kidnapped? Have contact been made? What are the kidnappers requesting for? Have you heard anything regarding all of that so far?
Haron, the line is breaking.
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Bello, I can hear you very well, but if you can hear me, I'll go ahead with my question now.
Okay, if you can hear me, let me continue. The line from your end is breaking.
All right, the question I asked was, has any arrest been made so far for the perpetrators of this kidnapping? Has anyone been arrested or apprehended?
Well, though the line is breaking, if I understand you, the police command is here to comment on the issue, and I called the state public relation officer, AFC Mansur Hassan. He couldn't be reached on phone, so there's no confirmation or reaction from police authority.
Okay, so what is the situation in the community? Do you have an idea of what the situation in the community is like at the moment? Has calmness been restored? Has security agencies responded to the community by sending people to protect them there at the moment?
Yes, normalcy has returned in the community, but there's fear, there's apprehension because of the people that were killed by the bandits, and also the unascertained numbers of people that are now in the hands of the bandits in the forest. So normalcy has returned, but there's still fear, apprehension rather, in the community.
All right, thank you very much, Bello Musa, for that update. We're definitely going to call you, through the course of the day, probably the next day, as well as any story develops from there. Thank you for joining us. All right, now moving on to Borno State, where the High Court Judge Justice Haron Mella has been released by his abductors. The judge's wife, Magistrate Binta Mshela, his driver and police orderly are still being held captive. This was confirmed by a reliable source in Maiduguri. Recall that Justice Mshela, alongside his wife, driver and a police security guard, were abducted by armed men on Monday, June 24th. According to sources close to the situation, Justice Mshela was traveling with his wife, a senior judicial officer from Biu to Maiduguri, when they were ambushed by a heavily armed group between the Borno and Oyo states. A director in the service of the River State Board of Internal Revenue, who was kidnapped earlier last month, has regained his freedom. Abia Fubara, who was kidnapped on Saturday, 24th August at the Okrika waterfront near the Marine Base area of Port Harcourt, was released Thursday night. He was, however, not reunited with his family until Friday, 6 September 2024. A family source revealed that a sum of 15 million naira was paid to secure his release from his abductors. The victim was held captive for a total of 12 days before he was released. The State Police Command has scheduled a briefing for the Commissioner of Police where his release and other issues are expected to be addressed. A total of 16 children believed to be victims of trafficking have been rescued from their abductors in the Osuaha area of Port Harcourt. The incident went viral when a social media video appeared to show them. It surfaced on the internet with a request for Good Samaritans to assist in locating the children's parents for identification. Though the River State Police Command has yet to comment on the matter, and the messages sent to the public relations officer have not yet been responded to. According to a highly placed police source, there was a commotion at a compound in Ozuoba when two women suspected to be members of a human trafficking ring were arrested by plainclothes operatives of yet-to-be-identified security agencies. Meanwhile, the authority of the Nigerian Army has debunked reports of mass resignation of its soldiers from the service due to corruption, low morale, among others. The authority, in a statement by Major General Onyema Wachuku, Director, Army Public Relations, described the report as baseless. The statement further described the report as not only misleading but also a deliberate attempt to sow seeds of disaffection and acrimony, as well as deintegrate the patriotic service of personnel and reputation of the Nigerian Army. The statement said it is crucial to clarify that service in the Nigerian Army, like most militaries in the world over, is voluntary and not conscriptive, that provides that individuals are free and at liberty to disengage at will. It said, contrary to the insinuations in the report, Nigerian Army personnel are highly motivated and their welfare is top priority. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, on Monday debunked reports doing the rounds that the rate for value-added tax has been upwardly adjusted to 10% from 7.5%. The minister, in a statement signed by him, affirmed that the VAT rate as contained in relevant tax laws and chargeable on goods and services remains at 7.5%. He said the current VAT rate is 7.5% and this is what the government is charging on spectrum of goods and services to which the tax is applicable. According to him, neither the federal government nor any of its agencies will act contrary to what the law stipulates. Meanwhile, leadership of the 10th National Assembly, leadership of the National Association of the Nigerian Students has said it is ready to meet with President Bola Tinubu, if need be, over its demand for the reversal of the recent increase in prices of petrol, popularly known as premium motor spirit. The Secretary of the National Association of Nigerian Students, David Barieka, revealed in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. According to him, the student body is currently in discussion with key stakeholders in the petroleum industry, including businessman Aliko Dangote, oil marketers, and the Minister of State for Petroleum, to seek a solution that would alleviate the public's burden. The development comes after the student body insisted on going ahead with the planned nationwide protest against the increase in petrol price. He said the association is not yet mobilizing for protest. Moving on to Kano, where the Kano State government has indefinitely postponed the resumption dates for both primary and post-primary schools for the 2024-2025 academic session. The government cited urgent reasons for the postponement but did not provide specific details. The decision follows a similar move by the Oyo State government, which also postponed its school resumption due to rising petrol prices and challenges faced by parents and guardians. Schools in most parts of Nigeria are set to resume on Monday, September 9th. Balarabe Kiru, Director of Public Enlightenment at the Kano State Ministry of Education, announced the postponement in a statement on Saturday. He explained that the Commissioner for Education, Umar Dogowa, would announce a new resumption date soon. This is News Update coming to you from Trust Television. Coming up, we'll be looking at how residents lament government negligence of rural roads in Imo. This and more when we return Tuesday. You are welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Updates coming to you from Trust TV. Let us take a look at our headline stories again. DSS arrest detains NLC President Joe Ajaero as NLC demands immediate release, puts affiliates on alert. 4 Fed killed, several kidnapped in Kaduna. Moving on to other stories, still in Kaduna, the Zonal Directorate of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arraigned one Ibrahim Shuaibu before Justice Darius Kobo of the Kaduna State High Court sitting in Kaduna State for fraud. Shuaibu is being prosecuted on a 7-count charge bordering on criminal breach of trust, impersonation, and obtaining by false pretense to the tune of 100 million naira. Justice Kobo afterwards ordered the defendant to be remanded in the custody of the EFCC. Shuaibu's journey to prosecution started sometime in 2017 when he presented himself to be his victims as NNPCL's Group Executive Director and promised to assist him procure over 2,000 liters of petroleum products, for which the victim transferred the agreed cost to his bank account in trenches. Shuaibu failed to fulfill his own part of the bargain after receiving payment and failed to refund his victim his money. Concerned residents of Imo State are expressing frustration over the poor condition of intercommunal roads, which is adversely affecting small-scale businesses and daily life. Despite repeated calls for assistance, the state government has failed to address the issue. The report.
A close look at the roads show a deplorable state with potholes dominating the landscape. This has resulted in businesses located along the affected areas losing customers daily, while some residents and landlords associations have attempted to repair the roads through self-help. Their attempts have been largely unsuccessful. They are now urging the state government to intervene immediately to prevent further deterioration.
Road is really affecting my business because there is bad road, pothole everywhere. So my customers that are coming from town to this place now, they are no longer coming because they are complaining of the road. Like the other time, my customer looked for me from town to this place that her car got spoiled because of the potholes everywhere. Due to the poor roads and how bad the road is, it has affected business activities in our area due to most customers are unable to get to your shops because of how bad the road is. Some of them complain that they can't leave the shops closer to theirs because sometimes there can be waterlogged, sometimes you see the bikes running around and maybe difficulty to convey goods. And sometimes when we buy goods, it's difficult for us to convey it to our shops.
The road is very, very affecting my business because, as you can see, the road is very bad and no more customers that are passing and looking at our work through finance. You can see our work is very, very neat and we need a good road that can at least maybe as you pass, you can see what we are doing, what is going on and what we are doing. So we really need support for the road. We need support for the road.
In addition to seeking immediate action on roads, residents are also appealing to Governor Ozodimma to implement policies that will support small-scale business owners and residents who are struggling to survive the current economic challenges.
Them to take advantage of this August break. Now the rain has subsided a little bit and have the road fixed because I learned that they are having a revenue collecting some money on it so they could just enhance the repair of the road so big.
And we need a good road because routine is here. Please, road and a pass and routine will motivate you to buy it.
Government should just help us if there is any way they can to come and help us to raise this road and repair it so that it will be easy for people, even those pedestrians using their foot to work, it will be easy for them to.
The residents are eagerly awaiting a positive response from the governor, hoping for relief from the hardships caused by the poor road network and economic reforms.
Moving on, the federal government's revenue from value-added tax shot up to a total of 1.56 trillion naira in the second quarter of 2024. According to the National Bureau of Statistics report on VAT revenue collection, the increase represented a 9.11% increase from 1.43 trillion naira in quarter 1 of 2024. Local payments recorded were 792.58 billion naira. Foreign VAT payments were 395.74 billion naira, while import VAT contributed 372 billion naira in quarter 2 2024. On a quarter-on-quarter basis, human health and social work activities recorded the highest growth rate with 98.44%, followed by agriculture, forestry and fishing with 70.26%, and water supply, sewage, waste management and remediation activities with 59.75% MBS reported. In terms of sectoral contributions, manufacturing with 11.78%, information and communication with 9.2%, and mining and quarrying with 8.79% recorded the highest growth. Now moving on to the foreign scene, a plane with 48 people aboard skid off the runway in Indonesia's remote eastern region of Papua on Monday, injuring several passengers. The ATR-42 aircraft belonging to Trigana Air was taken off from an airport in the remote Yapen Island Regency to Papuan capital Jayapura on Monday morning when it skidded off the runway. The flight was carrying 42 passengers, including a baby and 6 crew. The local search and rescue agency said in a statement that some passengers were injured and traumatized by the incident. Indonesia relies heavily on air transport to connect thousands of islands, but Papua is a particularly difficult area to reach. The Southeast Asian archipelago has a poor aviation safety record, and Papua is covered in mountainous terrain where flying is hampered by frequent poor weather. Still on the foreign scene, Syrian media state said Monday that overnight Israeli strikes has killed 14 people in central Hama province, with the war monitor reporting a higher death toll in raids on sensitive military sites. The Israeli military, which was carried out hundreds of strikes in Syria since the start of the civil war there in 2011, declined to comment on the recent reported attack. Israeli strikes on Syria since 2011 have mainly targeted army positions and Iran-backed fighters, including from Lebanon's Hezbollah group. Israeli authorities rarely comment on individual strikes in Syria, but have repeatedly said they will not allow arch-enemy to expand its presence. The Britain-based observatory, which relies on a network of sources inside Syria, had earlier said the strikes targeted sites where pro-Iran groups and weapons development experts are stationed. And now in sports, Super Falcons forward Ifeoma Onumonu has joined French de Arkema women's team Montpellier. Onumonu linked up with La Pilade from NWSL outfit Utah Royals. The 30-year-old is the first Nigerian to sign for Montpellier. The forward will be playing for a club outside America for the first time. President of the club, Laura Nicolin, also welcomed Onumonu to the club and hoped she will adapt very quickly for her new environment. The funeral for Ugandan Olympic runner Rebecca Cheptegei, who died in Kenya after being set on fire by her boyfriend, will be held on September 14th in her country home. The 33-year-old, who competed in the women's marathon at the Paris Olympics last month, succumbed to severe burns on Thursday, 4 days after being doused with petrol and set alight at her home in western Kenya. Bukwa is a location of Cheptegei's family home and lies on the border with Kenya, about 380 kilometers northeast of the Ugandan capital Kampala. Cheptegei's death was greeted with anger and sorrow. The latest horrific act of gender-based violence in Kenya, where at least 2 other athletes have lost their lives at the hands of their partners. With that, we've come to the end of News Update here on Trust Television. Do well to follow us across all our social media platforms for more news, more programs, and more documentaries. Thanks for watching. I am Lilian Ogazi. Bye for now.